June 5th, 1944, 11:47 p.m. I'm writing this in my head because I can't sleep. None of us can. The USS Samuel Chase is rocking beneath us, and I can hear men vomiting in the latrines. The smell down here is awful. Sweat, diesel fuel, fear. You can smell fear, you know. It's metallic, like copper pennies in your mouth. My name is James Mitchell, Private First Class, 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Division. I'm 22 years old, from a small town in Virginia you've never heard of. Bedford. Population about 3,000. Feels like half the town is on this ship with me tonight. I keep thinking about my mother's last letter. She wrote about the apple trees blooming back home, about how my kid sister won first place in the county fair with her strawberry pie. Normal things. Beautiful things. Things that feel like they belong to a different world right now. The briefing was 3 hours ago. They showed us maps, aerial photographs, drawings. Omaha Beach, they called it. Code name for a 5-mile stretch of French coastline that intelligence says is lightly defended. Lieutenant Dawson said we'd be home by Christmas. Some of the guys believed him. I saw it in their eyes, that hope. I wanted to believe him too, but I've been in this man's army long enough to know when officers are lying to make us feel better. The beach is 400 yards of open sand. No cover. Machine gun nests and concrete bunkers on the bluffs above, artillery positions, mines everywhere. They showed us the obstacles in the water, these massive steel and concrete barriers designed to rip the bottom out of our landing craft. And that was just what they knew about. I'm trying not to think about it, trying to focus on my job. I'm a rifleman. I carry an M1 Grand, 8 rounds in the clip, that beautiful ping when it ejects. I fired thousands of rounds in training. I can field strip this weapon blindfolded. This rifle is going to keep me alive tomorrow. Tomorrow? It's already tomorrow. It's past midnight. June 6th, 1944. D-Day. The day we've been training for, preparing for, dreading for months. Ever since we left England, we knew this was coming. Operation Overlord. The invasion of Nazi-occupied France. The beginning of the end, they say. The door to Hitler's fortress Europe. I look around at the faces of my squad in the dim light. There's Johnny Sullivan from Boston, can't be older than 19, still has acne. He keeps checking his rifle, over and over, like it might have changed in the last 30 seconds. There's Big Mike Thompson, used to work in a steel mill in Pittsburgh. Hands like sledgehammers. He's the strongest man I've ever met, but right now he's shaking. There's Corporal Martinez, our squad leader from somewhere in Texas. He fought in North Africa and Sicily. He's seen combat. The rest of us haven't. Martinez caught me staring at him earlier. He didn't say anything, just nodded. That nod said everything. It said, I know you're scared. I'm scared too. But tomorrow we do our jobs. The ship lurches and I grab onto the steel frame of my bunk. Someone curses in the darkness. I hear whispered prayers in a dozen different accents. Catholic prayers, Protestant prayers, Jewish prayers. Doesn't matter what God you believe in tonight, we're all asking for the same thing. Please let me live. Please, let me see home again. I think about the last time I fired my rifle at a living target. Never. I've shot at paper targets, at silhouettes, at wooden structures in training,
but I've never aimed at another human being and pulled the trigger. Tomorrow, I will. Tomorrow, I'll try to kill men I've never met. Men who are probably just like me. German boys conscripted into their army, who also want to go home, who also have mothers waiting for them. War doesn't make sense when you think about it like that. But I can't think about it like that. The Germans are the enemy. They're Nazis, they've conquered Europe, they're murdering innocent people, they have to be stopped. That's what we're told. That's what we believe. That's what has to be true, or else what are we doing here? The engines change pitch. We're moving. I feel the ship turning, the rhythm of the waves changing. Other men feel it too. The whispered conversations stop. Everyone's listening now. Footsteps on the deck above us. Shouted orders, muffled by steel. Sergeant Chan appears, our platoon sergeant. Good man. Fair. Tough when he needs to be. He tells us we load into the Higgins boats at 0500. That's 2 hours from now. Everyone needs to check their gear. Rifles clean, ammo dry, life preservers secured properly. This is it. This is what we trained for. When those ramps drop, we move fast. Stay low. Follow your squad leader. Don't bunch up on the beach. Spread out. Find cover. Return fire. Get off that beach. Get to the seawall. Get up those bluffs. Clear the German positions. Open the door for the rest of the army. Rest. Right. Like any of us can sleep now. But I lie back down on my bunk anyway. Close my eyes. Try to slow my breathing. Try to stop my hands from shaking. It doesn't work. I think about the letter I wrote to my parents yesterday. I didn't mail it yet. It's in my breast pocket, sealed in wax paper to keep it dry. Just in case. In case I don't make it. In case this is my last chance to tell them I love them, that I'm proud to serve, that they raised me right. All the things you're supposed to say in a letter like that. But what I really want to say is I'm terrified. I don't want to die. I don't want to kill anyone. I just want to come home and see the apple trees bloom and eat my sister's strawberry pie and live a long, boring, beautiful life. That's all I want. But I can't say that. So instead I wrote about duty and honor and freedom. The things soldiers are supposed to write about. Time moves strangely now. Sometimes a minute feels like an hour. Sometimes an hour disappears in seconds. I drift in and out of something that's not quite sleep, but isn't quite wakefulness either. Nightmares blend with reality. I dream I'm already on the beach, already running through the sand, already hearing the bullets snap past my head. Then I wake up and I'm still on the ship, and the beach is still ahead of me, and somehow that's worse. The announcement crackles through the speakers, and my stomach drops. All personnel, prepare to load landing craft. This is it. This is really happening. Men start moving, gathering their gear. The hold fills with the sounds of metal clanking, straps being adjusted, quiet curses. I grab my rifle, check it one more time even though I've already checked it 50 times tonight. Magazine loaded, safety on, action smooth. My pack weighs about 60 pounds. Ammunition, rations, water, first aid kit, entrenching tool, extra socks. They told us to pack light but also gave us 1,000 things we might need. We climb up the ladders to the main deck. The night air hits me like a slap. Cold, salty. The wind is strong, stronger than I expected. The ocean is rough, waves crashing against the hull. Above us, the sky is starting to lighten just barely, that pre-dawn gray that's not quite black anymore but not yet blue. And the ships. Oh God, the ships. I've never seen so many ships in my life.
Hundreds of them, maybe thousands, spread out across the ocean as far as I can see. Battleships, destroyers, transports, landing craft, all of them heading in the same direction, all of them heading toward France, toward Normandy, toward Omaha Beach. It's the largest invasion force in human history. That's what they told us. Largest amphibious assault ever attempted. Thousands of ships, tens of thousands of men, all converging on a few miles of French coastline to break through Hitler's Atlantic Wall and liberate Europe. When you see it like this, spread out across the ocean, it seems impossible that we could fail. How could the Germans stop all of this? How could any army stand against this much power, this much determination, this much American and British and Canadian steel? But then I think about those machine guns on the bluffs, those concrete bunkers, those artillery positions, and I realize that all these ships don't mean anything if we can't get off the beach. Martinez waves me toward one of the Higgins boats being lowered on davits. These landing craft are our ride to the beach. Flat-bottom boats, about 36 feet long, designed to carry 36 men plus crew. Steel ramp in the front that drops down when we reach the shore. I climb in with the rest of my squad. The boat sways and tilts as more men pack in. We're pressed together tight, shoulder to shoulder, no room to move. The smell is overwhelming now. Diesel fuel from the engine, salt spray from the ocean, vomit from the men who are already seasick, and that metallic smell of fear, stronger than ever. The davits lower us toward the water and my heart is pounding so hard I think everyone can hear it. The boat hits the waves with a crash and immediately starts rocking violently. Water splashes over the sides, soaking us. It's freezing. Some men are already puking over the side. The coxswain, the Navy guy driving this thing, guns the engine and we pull away from the mothership. Other landing craft are launching all around us, dozens of them, maybe hundreds. The water is churning with wakes and spray. The sky is getting lighter now. I can see the coastline in the distance. France. The beach. Our target. Big Mike is pressed against me so tight I can barely turn my head. We talk briefly, both scared, both trying not to show it. That's all we can do. Admit we're terrified and keep going anyway. The landing craft circles with hundreds of others, forming up, waiting for the signal to head in. The Navy is still bombarding the coast. I can see flashes on the shore, hear the distant rumble of explosions, battleships firing their big guns, destroyers adding their smaller cannons. The Air Force supposedly bombed the beach defenses all night. They said they'd soften up the German positions, make it easier for us. I watch those explosions on the shore and I pray that they're hitting the bunkers, the gun nests, the German soldiers. I pray that by the time we hit that beach there won't be anyone left to shoot at us. But even from here, even in the dim pre-dawn light, I can see that the defenses are still there. The concrete bunkers, the obstacles in the water. The Germans aren't destroyed. They're waiting for us.
Aircraft fill the sky, dozens of them, hundreds, flying in formation over our heads toward the beach. Bombers, fighters, the drone of their engines fills the air. Someone shouts encouragement, but most of us just watch in silence. Those planes are going to drop their bombs and then fly home. They'll be back in England in time for breakfast. We're going to be on that beach in less than an hour. The water is getting rougher. Waves are crashing over the front ramp, pouring into the boat. We're all soaked now, shivering in the cold. Men are vomiting everywhere. The smell is unbearable. I try to focus on my breathing. In through my nose, out through my mouth. Stay calm, stay focused, do your job. Someone asks Martinez what Sicily was like, what the landing was like. Martinez is quiet for a long moment. When he finally speaks, his voice is hard. Different, he says. We had more cover, better intelligence. This is going to be worse. Nobody asks any more questions after that. The sky is definitely lighter now. Dawn is breaking. I can see the beach clearly. It's about 400 yards of sand, like they told us. Behind it, steep bluffs rising up maybe 100 feet. And on those bluffs, I can see the German positions. Bunkers, trenches, gun emplacements. They have the high ground. They have clear fields of fire across the entire beach. We have to cross 400 yards of open sand while they shoot at us from fortified positions. The radio crackles. All units, prepare to advance. H hour is 0630. First wave, begin your approach. It's 6:15 a.m. 15 minutes until we hit the beach. 15 minutes until my life changes forever. Or ends. The landing craft turns and starts moving toward shore with hundreds of others in a massive line. The coxswain is trying to navigate through the obstacles in the water. I can see them now. Huge steel structures shaped like jacks, topped with mines. Concrete blocks, wooden stakes, all designed to sink landing craft or blow them up. The naval bombardment has stopped. The planes have dropped their bombs and left. Now it's quiet except for the engine noise and the waves and the sound of men breathing, praying, crying. We're about 200 yards from shore now. 150 yards. The beach is right there. I can see the sand, the obstacles, the seawall where we're supposed to take cover. And then I see the first tracer round. It arcs across the water like a red streak, moving so fast I barely register it before it's past us. Then another, and another. Machine gun fire, coming from the bluffs. The Germans are shooting at us, and we're still 100 yards from shore. Men start screaming to get down, but there's nowhere to get down. We're packed in this boat like sardines. All we can do is huddle behind the steel sides and pray. The bullets are hitting the water all around us now. I can hear them, that sharp crack when they break the sound barrier. Some are hitting the boat, pinging off the steel with a sound like hail on a tin roof. Men are screaming. The coxswain is cursing, trying to keep us moving forward through the obstacles and the fire. An explosion off to our left. One of the landing craft hits a mine. The boat literally comes apart, men and equipment flying through the air. Bodies in the water. Screaming. Oh God, the screaming. 50 yards now. The machine gun fire is constant, a roar like 1,000 buzzsaws cutting through the air. Bullets everywhere, hitting the ramp, the sides, the water. How are they missing us? How are we still alive? The coxswain shouts, 30 seconds. Ramp is going down in 30 seconds. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready for what? Get ready to die? 20 yards. 10 yards. The boat is still moving. We are going to hit the beach hard. I grip my rifle so tight my knuckles are white. This is it. This is really it. The boat hits sand with a grinding crunch, and immediately the ramp starts dropping. The ramp drops, and the first man in line, Corporal Davis from 2nd Squad, steps forward. He doesn't make it 2 steps before the bullets hit him. I see his body jerk, see the blood spray, see him fall into the water. Just like that. 1 second he's alive. The next second he's dead. Martinez is screaming to go, to get off the boat, to move. But nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to follow Davis into that hell. The machine gun fire is coming straight down the ramp. It's a kill zone. Anyone who steps off this boat is going to die. But we can't stay here. The boat is stuck on a sandbar, ramp down, exposed. We're sitting ducks. We have to move. I jump off the side of the ramp instead, into the water.
It's deeper than I expected. Much deeper. The water is over my head and I'm sinking, pulled down by the weight of my pack, my rifle, my equipment. I kick frantically toward the surface, lungs burning. My head breaks the surface and I gasp for air. Bullets are hitting the water all around me, making little splashes like rain. I start wading toward shore. The water is chest deep, waves crashing into me, current pulling at me. My boots are full of water. My pack feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Every step is a struggle. And the whole time, bullets. Everywhere. Zipping past my head, hitting the water next to me, hitting men around me. To my right, Big Mike is running through the water. He's faster than me, stronger. He's going to make it. He has to make it. Then I see his head snap back, and he falls forward into the water and doesn't get up. Mike. Big Mike Thompson from Pittsburgh, with hands like sledgehammers. Gone. Just like that. I keep moving. What else can I do? Stop and die? I keep moving toward the beach, toward the sand, toward cover that doesn't exist. Men are falling everywhere. The water is turning red. Bodies floating, equipment floating. The whole ocean is filled with the debris of our invasion, and we're not even on the beach yet. My feet hit solid sand, and I start running. Or trying to run. It's more like stumbling. My legs are weak from the cold water and the fear. My pack is pulling me backward, but I run anyway, because if I stop, I die. The beach. Oh God, the beach. It's nothing like the map showed us. It's not flat. It's covered in stones and obstacles and craters from the naval bombardment that didn't destroy anything. And the bodies. There are bodies everywhere. Men from the first wave, men from my wave, all scattered across the sand like broken dolls. Machine gun fire is raking across the beach in constant sweeping patterns. I can see the tracers now in the early morning light, red streaks that show where the bullets are going. Artillery is starting to hit too. Big shells landing and exploding, throwing up huge geysers of sand and stone and body parts. I dive behind one of the steel obstacles. It's not much cover, but it's something. I press myself flat against the sand, trying to disappear, trying to become invisible. My heart is beating so fast I think it might explode. I can't breathe, can't think, can't do anything except lie here and shake. Johnny Sullivan is about 20 yards away, also behind an obstacle. His face is white with terror. He's screaming something at me, but I can't hear him over the gunfire. I don't know what to do. Nobody trained us for this. I look around for Martinez, for Sergeant Shen, for anyone who might know what to do. But I can't find them. I can't find anyone from my squad. Just scattered groups of soldiers, huddled behind whatever cover they can find, pinned down by fire from the bluffs. An explosion. Close. Too close. I'm showered with sand and pebbles. My ears are ringing. I can't hear anything except this high-pitched whine. I touch my face, and my hand comes away bloody. I'm hit. No, wait. It's just a scratch from flying debris. I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I have to move. Can't stay here. The tide is coming in. The water is rising. If I stay here, I'll drown. If I try to move, I'll get shot. Those are my options. Drown or get shot. I choose shot. I get up and run, bent over, zigzagging, trying to make myself a harder target. Bullets kick up sand at my feet. Something tugs at my sleeve. I look down, and there's a hole in my jacket. A bullet just passed through my sleeve without touching my arm. 6 inches to the left, and I'd be dead. I make it to another obstacle, then another, working my way across the beach toward the seawall.
That's where I need to be. That's where there might be cover. It's about 200 yards ahead, might as well be 200 miles. I see a man lying in the sand ahead of me. He's not moving. I run past him and then realize it's Lieutenant Dawson, the officer who told us we'd be home by Christmas. Half his head is gone. I throw up. Can't help it. I just stop and throw up right there on the beach while bullets are flying everywhere. Keep moving. Keep moving. That's all I can think. Keep moving or die. I reach the seawall and throw myself behind it. Finally, real cover. A concrete wall about 4 feet high that runs along the length of the beach. There are other soldiers here, maybe 30 or 40 men, all huddled against the wall. Some are wounded, bleeding, crying for medics. Some are just lying there, staring at nothing, in shock. Some are dead. I lie against the wall and try to catch my breath. Try to stop shaking. Try to reload my rifle because at some point I fired all 8 rounds without even realizing it. My hands are shaking so bad I can barely work the clip. A captain I don't recognize is moving along the wall, checking on men, organizing the chaos. He asks my unit. I tell him 116th Infantry, 29th Division. He asks where my squad is. I don't know. We got separated. He nods, tells me I'm with him now. We need to get off this beach. We need to get up those bluffs and knock out those machine gun nests or everyone on this beach is going to die. He moves on, shouting orders. And I realize something. We're not going to be rescued. There's no retreat. The only way off this beach is forward, up those bluffs, through the German defenses, or die trying. I look back at the water. More landing craft are coming in, bringing more waves of soldiers. But the beach is still a kill zone. Men are still dying in the water, on the sand, behind inadequate cover. The machine guns haven't stopped. The artillery hasn't stopped. Nothing has changed, except now there are more targets for the Germans to shoot at. This is Omaha Beach. This is D-Day. This is hell. I don't know how long I sit against that wall. Could be minutes. Could be hours. Time has stopped making sense. Everything is noise and fear and the smell of blood and gunpowder and burning metal. Men keep arriving at the seawall. Some make it, most don't. I watch them run across that beach, see them fall, hear them scream. After a while, I stop watching. I just stare at the concrete wall in front of me and try not to think about anything. A sergeant I don't recognize shakes my shoulder, asks if I'm hit, asks if I can fight. I can fight. He tells me we're moving in 5 minutes. We're going up that bluff. He points to a gully cutting through the bluff about 50 yards to our right. That's our way up. The Germans have it covered with machine guns, but it's the only way. We go up that draw or we die on this beach. I check my rifle again. Still works, still loaded. Good. I'm going to need it. Johnny Sullivan crawls up next to me. He made it! I'm surprised to see him alive. We talk briefly, both scared. Both alive, that's something. I tell him to stay with me, to follow me, to keep his head down. We're going to make it. The captain is standing on top of the seawall now, standing right up where the Germans can see him, where they can shoot him. He's waving his arm, shouting, "Listen up! We're going to attack in 1 minute. When I give the signal, run for that draw. Don't stop, don't look back, don't bunch up. Spread out and run. Engineers will blow the wire when we get there. Just run!" He's going to get himself killed standing up like that, but men are looking at him, listening to him, getting ready. Sometimes courage is contagious. He gives the signal, and I'm up and over the wall before I can think about it. My legs are moving, carrying me across the beach toward the draw. Men are running all around me. The machine guns open up immediately. Bullets everywhere. Men falling, screaming.
But we keep running because if we stop, we die. Artillery hits. A shell lands right in front of me, explodes, throws me backward. I hit the ground hard, can't breathe. Something's wrong with my ears. Can't hear anything except ringing. I try to get up, fall back down. Get up again. Keep moving. Have to keep moving. The draw is ahead. 50 yards. 40. I can see the barbed wire strung across it. I can see the machine gun nest at the top. Muzzle flashes in the shadows of the bunker. That gun is killing so many of us. 30 yards. 20. Men are dropping all around me. I step over bodies, jump over craters, just keep running. An officer next to me takes a bullet to the chest, spins around, falls. I don't stop, can't stop. The barbed wire. We're at the barbed wire. Engineers are running up with Bangalore torpedoes, long tubes filled with explosives designed to blow gaps in the wire. They're working frantically, bullets snapping around them. One engineer's hit, falls. Another takes his place, finishes the job. Someone shouts, "Fire in the hole," and I throw myself flat. The torpedo explodes with a massive blast that I feel in my chest. When I look up, there's a gap in the wire. Men are screaming to move, to go through the gap. I'm up and running again, through the gap, into the draw. It's steep, really steep, more like climbing than running. My hands are scrambling for handholds. My boots are slipping on loose dirt and rock. The machine gun at the top is still firing, bullets kicking up dirt all around us. A hand grenade comes flying down from above. I see it tumbling through the air, have just enough time to throw myself to the side before it explodes. Shrapnel cuts across my leg, hot and sharp. I'm bleeding, but I can still move. Keep climbing. Have to keep climbing. Someone above me throws a grenade back up toward the bunker. The explosion is muffled, but I hear German voices shouting. Let them be scared for once. Let them feel what we've been feeling. I'm halfway up the draw now. My lungs are burning. My leg is bleeding. My hands are raw and torn, but I'm climbing. Johnny is next to me, also climbing. Other men from different units, different platoons, different companies. We're not organized anymore. We're just Americans trying to get off this goddamn beach. More grenades from above, more explosions. Someone next to me is hit, tumbles back down the slope. I don't look, can't look, just keep climbing. The top is maybe 20 yards away now. I can see the machine gun nest clearly. Concrete bunker, narrow firing slit, that machine gun barrel sticking out. A sergeant with a satchel charge is making a run at the bunker. Men start shooting at the firing slit, trying to keep the Germans' heads down. I raise my rifle, aim, fire. The M1 kicks against my shoulder. Fire again. Again. The clip pings out, empty. I reload as fast as I can. The sergeant reaches the bunker, slaps the satchel charge against the concrete, pulls the fuse, runs. Someone shouts to get down, and the explosion is enormous. The bunker just comes apart, concrete and steel and body parts flying everywhere. When the smoke clears, the machine gun is silent. The bunker is destroyed. We swarm over the top of the draw into the German trenches. There are Germans here, alive, armed. For the first time since I hit the beach, I'm shooting at men I can actually see. A German soldier stands up from a foxhole 20 feet away, bringing his rifle up. I shoot first. He goes down. Did I kill him? I don't know. I don't wait to find out. Keep moving. More Germans. More fighting. Close range. Brutal. We're using rifles, pistols, grenades, knives, anything we can. The Germans are falling back, retreating from their positions. We're actually pushing them back. We're winning. I reach a German dugout, point my rifle inside. 2 Germans. Young guys, maybe my age.
They have their hands up, surrendering. They're shouting, "Kamerad," the word for comrade, the way German soldiers say they give up. I should shoot them. They were just trying to kill me 5 minutes ago. They've been killing Americans all morning. But they're surrendering. They're just kids, like me. I lower my rifle. I tell them to come out. They climb out slowly, hands still raised. They're terrified. From the top of the bluff, I can finally see the whole beach. And oh, God, it's worse than I thought. The sand is covered with bodies. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. Destroyed landing craft burning in the water, equipment scattered everywhere. Wounded men crawling toward the seawall. Medics running between casualties, trying to help, getting shot. It's carnage on a scale I couldn't have imagined. This is what hell looks like. But more boats are still coming, more waves of soldiers hitting the beach, and now that we've cleared some of the German positions up here, they have a better chance. Not a good chance, but better.
Some of them might actually make it to the seawall. Some of them might make it up the bluffs. We're opening the door. Slowly. Painfully. But we're doing it. The captain from the seawall made it too. His uniform is torn and bloody, but he's alive. He tells us good work getting up here. Now we need to push inland. There's a village about a mile south, Vierville-sur-Mer. We need to take it and secure the roads. Otherwise the Germans will reinforce and push us back into the ocean. He asks if I can keep moving. I look at my leg. Still bleeding, but not bad. I can walk. I can fight. I tell him yes. He tells me to round up anyone I can find. We're moving out in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to catch my breath, to reload my rifle, to try to stop shaking. 10 minutes before I have to start fighting again. I find Johnny Sullivan sitting against a destroyed German bunker. He's staring at his hands. They're covered in blood. I ask if he's hit. He looks up at me with these empty eyes. It's not his blood. There was a German in a foxhole. The German tried to shoot him. Johnny killed him. Stabbed him with his bayonet. Felt it go in. Felt him die. I sit down next to him. I tell him he did what he had to do. The German would have killed him. Johnny knows that, but he can't stop seeing the German's face. The kid was so young. Younger than Johnny, maybe. I grab his shoulders. Make him look at me. He did his job. He survived. That's all that matters right now. We're alive. We made it off that beach. A lot of guys didn't, but we did. Now we have to keep going. For them. For all the guys who didn't make it. He nods slowly and says, okay, keep going. More men are reaching the top of the bluff now. Some from my division, some from other units. We're all mixed together. Nobody cares about unit organization anymore. We're just Americans, trying to complete the mission. I recognize a face in the crowd. Corporal Martinez. He's limping badly, one arm hanging useless at his side, but he's alive. We're both surprised and relieved. We talked briefly about who made it, who didn't. Big Mike's dead. Sullivan's here. The rest, we don't know. Haven't seen them. Martinez's voice cracks when he says, "We lost a lot of good men on that beach. A lot of good men." We don't talk for a minute. What is there to say? We all lost people we cared about. The whole beach is covered with our friends, our brothers. There will be time to mourn later. Right now, we have to keep fighting. The captain is organizing us into makeshift squads. Nobody's with their original unit anymore. We're just groups of survivors thrown together by chance. My squad now consists of me, Johnny Sullivan, Martinez, 2 guys from the 1st Infantry Division, and a radio man from the 5th Rangers. The captain addresses maybe 60 men. That's all that's left of what was supposed to be 2 companies. 60 men out of 400.
We're moving inland to take Vierville. Intelligence says it's held by elements of the German 352nd Infantry Division. That's a full-strength division, combat experienced. They're going to fight hard for every inch of ground. But we're going to take that village, because if we don't, this whole invasion fails. We start moving inland, away from the beach, into the French countryside. The terrain is bocage, these thick hedgerows that have been here for centuries. Stone walls covered in dense vegetation, creating natural fortifications every 100 yards or so. Perfect for defense. Terrible for attack. The Germans know we're coming. They're going to make us pay for every field. The morning sun is higher now. It's a beautiful day, actually. Blue sky, warm sunshine, birds singing. It would be peaceful, if not for the sound of gunfire and explosions still coming from the beach behind us, if not for the smell of smoke and blood. We advance through the first hedgerow and immediately take fire. Rifle shots from ahead, muzzle flashes in the shadows. We hit the ground, return fire. The Germans pull back to the next hedgerow. We advance, They fire again. We hit the ground again. It's going to be like this all day. Advance, take fire, return fire. Advance again. Slowly pushing forward, paying in blood for every yard. A bullet snaps past my head, so close I feel the wind. I drop behind a stone wall, breathing hard. That was close. Too close. I'm using up my luck fast. Someone shouts, "Grenade!" I see it arc through the air, a German stick grenade with its distinctive wooden handle. It lands 10 feet from me. I have maybe 2 seconds. I grab it and throw it back toward where it came from. It explodes in midair. I hear German voices screaming. We keep moving. Through one hedgerow, then another. Past a farmhouse that's been shot to pieces. Past a dead cow lying in a field. Past a German soldier lying face down in the dirt, his rifle still in his hands. How many Germans have I killed today? I don't know. I stopped counting. Stopped thinking about it. They're just targets now, uniforms to shoot at. If I think of them as people, as men with families and homes and hopes, I'll go crazy. Martinez is moving up next to me, using hand signals. He points to a barn about 50 yards ahead. I nod. Could be Germans in there. Could be empty. Only one way to find out. He signals to the rest of the squad. We're going to assault it. Half of us will provide covering fire while the other half moves up. Martinez mouths the word, "Ready." I nod. I'm not ready. I'll never be ready. But I'm going to do it anyway. He opens fire on the barn and I'm running, zigzagging across the open ground. Bullets are coming from the barn, multiple shooters. This isn't going to be easy. I dive behind a low stone wall, breathing hard. Johnny is next to me, also behind the wall. The 2 guys from the 1st Division are further to the right. Martinez and the others open up, shooting at every window and door in that barn. I take the opportunity to move closer, running to a shot-up cart about 20 yards from the barn entrance. Almost there. A German soldier appears in the doorway, machine pistol in hand. He sees me, starts to raise his weapon. I shoot him. He falls backwards into the barn. No time to think about it. Keep moving. I pull a grenade from my belt, pull the pin, count to 3, throw it through the open door. Get pulled by the barn walls, but I hear screaming inside. Men shouting in German. The door bursts open, and 2 Germans run out, hands empty, surrendering. They're shouting, "Nicht schießen! Don't shoot!" We secure them and clear the barn. 3 more Germans inside, all dead from the grenade. One of them can't be older than 16. Just a kid. A kid in a German uniform, but still, just a kid. Martinez is right. We need to keep moving. We continue pushing inland. The fighting is constant, but not as intense as the beach. The Germans are falling back, trying to form a defensive line around Vierville. We're taking casualties, but nothing like the slaughter on Omaha. Every time I think about that beach, about all those bodies, about Big Mike floating face down in the water, I feel sick. But I can't think about it. Not now. Right now, I need to focus on staying alive, on helping my squad stay alive, on completing the mission. The hedgerows are endless. Each one looks exactly like the last. Stone walls, thick vegetation, narrow gaps between fields, perfect ambush territory. The Germans could be anywhere. Every time we advance through a gap, I expect bullets. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. The randomness of it is almost worse than constant fire. We've been fighting for maybe 3 hours since leaving the beach. It feels like 3 years. My leg is still bleeding, my hands are blistered from gripping my rifle, my ears are ringing from all the gunfire and explosions. But I'm still moving, still fighting. That's all that matters. One of the 1st Division guys spots movement ahead. We all hit the ground, weapons ready. A German patrol, maybe 8 men, moving through the hedgerow directly in front of us. They haven't seen us yet. Martinez signals. We'll ambush them. Wait until they're in the kill zone, then open fire all at once. My heart is pounding. These Germans have no idea we're here. In about 30 seconds, most of them are going to be dead. They're in the open now, walking along the base of a hedgerow, talking to each other, relaxed. They think they're in safe territory. They're wrong. Martinez raises his hand, 3 fingers. 2, 1. We open fire, all of us at once. The Germans don't have a chance. They go down in the first volley. A couple try to run. We shoot them in the back. One tries to surrender. Someone shoots him anyway. It's over in seconds. 8 Germans dead in a field in France, and we just keep moving like nothing happened. That's war. That's what war is. Quick, brutal, impersonal killing, and you move on to the next fight. We're getting close to Vierville now. I can see the church steeple rising above the hedgerows. The village itself is just ahead. Smoke is rising from several buildings, either from our naval bombardment this morning or from fighting happening right now. The captain signals for us to stop. We're at the edge of a large open field. On the other side, maybe 200 yards away, is Vierville. Between us and the village is absolutely no cover, just open grass. And the Germans know we're coming. The captain states the obvious. We need to cross that field. The problem is they've got machine guns covering it, probably mortars and artillery zeroed in too. It's going to be bad. Johnny asks quietly if it's as bad as the beach. The captain looks at him. No, he says, nothing will ever be as bad as the beach, but it's going to be bad enough. He's organizing the assault. We're going to rush across in waves. First wave goes in 5 minutes, that's us. Smoke grenades to cover our advance. Once we reach the village, clear house to house. Germans will probably retreat, but watch for stay-behind snipers and booby traps. I check my rifle one more time. 3 clips, 24 rounds. That's not much. I search the bodies of the Germans we just killed, find 2 more clips of ammunition. They won't fit my M1, but I take them anyway. Maybe I'll find someone who can use them. Several men throw smoke grenades into the field. White and gray smoke starts billowing up, obscuring the view. It won't stop bullets, but at least the Germans won't be able to aim as well. The captain shouts, "Go," and I'm running again.
Across that field, through the smoke, toward the village. The machine guns open up immediately. I can hear the bullets cracking through the air, but I can't see where they're coming from. Just keep running. Don't stop. Don't think. Just run. Someone next to me goes down. I don't know who. Don't look. Keep running. The smoke is thick. I can barely see where I'm going. Almost trip over a stone wall. Jump over it. Keep running. Mortar rounds start falling. The Germans are firing blind into the smoke, hoping to hit something. An explosion to my left. Shrapnel hisses past my head. The smoke is clearing ahead. I can see the first buildings of the village now. Maybe 50 yards. 40. A machine gun opens up from a window. Direct fire. I see the muzzle flash. See the tracers cutting through the smoke. Men are falling. I hit the ground, crawl behind a low wall. Others are doing the same, finding whatever cover they can. Someone screams to give suppressing fire on that window. 2nd floor, left side. We start shooting at the window, trying to keep the German gunner's head down. Someone with more courage than sense runs forward with a grenade, throws it through the window. The explosion silences the gun. We reach the outskirts of the village. The buildings here are old stone cottages with slate roofs, narrow streets, gardens. It probably used to be beautiful. Now it's a battlefield. Walls are pockmarked with bullet holes. Roofs are collapsed from artillery. Gardens are torn up by explosions. The whole place smells like smoke and death. We start clearing houses. It's terrifying work. You never know what's behind each door. Could be empty. Could be Germans waiting to shoot you. You kick in the door, throw in a grenade, wait for the explosion, then go in shooting. Sometimes you find Germans. Sometimes you find French civilians hiding in cellars. Sometimes you find bodies. I clear 3 houses without finding anyone. The 4th has 2 German soldiers in the kitchen. They shoot at me, miss. I shoot back, don't miss. They go down, and I feel nothing. No guilt, no remorse, no satisfaction, nothing. I'm numb. Too exhausted and scared to feel anything anymore. The fighting in the village goes on for hours. House by house, room by room. The Germans are fighting for every building, but we have momentum now. More Americans are reaching the village, reinforcing us. The Germans are outnumbered. Slowly, building by building, we're pushing them back. By early afternoon, the village is ours. The Germans have retreated to the next defensive line, wherever that is. We've accomplished our mission. We've taken Vierville-sur-Mer. The door to France is open. But the cost. Oh, God. The cost. I look around at what's left of our force. We started this morning with hundreds of men. Now there's maybe
40 of us still standing. 40 out of hundreds. And every single one of us is wounded in some way. Maybe not all physically, but mentally, emotionally. We're all damaged, all broken. I sit down on the steps of the village church. My whole body is shaking. The adrenaline is wearing off, and now I'm feeling everything. The pain in my leg, the cuts on my hands, the ringing in my ears, the exhaustion that goes all the way to my bones. I'm so tired. So incredibly tired. Johnny Sullivan sits down next to me. He made it. We both made it. He says, "We did it. We actually did it." I agree. We did it. He can't believe we're alive. Me neither. We sit there in silence, watching other soldiers moving through the village, securing positions, treating wounded, collecting dog tags from the dead.
Martinez limps over to us. His arm is bandaged now, but he's still moving, still leading. He tells us good work today, both of us. We're going to set up a defensive perimeter around the village. Captain says we hold here until reinforcements arrive. Could be a few hours, could be tomorrow. Get some rest while you can. Rest. That sounds impossible, but I'm so tired I could fall asleep standing up. The afternoon passes slowly. We've secured the village, but we're still on edge, expecting a German counterattack at any moment. Small firefights break out on the perimeter. Nothing major, just German patrols testing our defenses. We repel them easily. More American forces are arriving now. Rangers from Point to Hawk, infantry from other beaches, tanks even. Somehow they got them off the beach and moving inland. We're not alone anymore. The invasion is succeeding. Despite the catastrophe on Omaha Beach, despite the thousands of casualties, despite everything, we're winning. I find a relatively undamaged house and collapse in what used to be someone's living room. There are family photographs on the walls. A French family, smiling, happy. Where are they now? Did they evacuate before the invasion? Are they hiding in a cellar somewhere? Are they dead? I'll never know. A medic finds me and insists on looking at my leg. The wound isn't as bad as I thought. The shrapnel didn't hit anything important. He cleans it, bandages it, gives me a shot of morphine. The pain fades to a dull throb. He moves on to the next wounded soldier. There are so many wounded. I must fall asleep, because the next thing I know, Johnny is shaking me awake. It's getting dark outside. He tells me they're handing out rations, and mail came through. I got a letter. A letter. From home. From before. From the world where people don't spend their days killing each other. I take it from Johnny with shaking hands. It's from my mother. I can tell by the handwriting. But I can't open it. Not yet. I'm not ready to be reminded of home, of normal life, of everything I'm fighting for and everything I might never see again. I stuff the letter in my breast pocket, next to the letter I wrote to them yesterday. That feels like a lifetime ago. Was it really just last night I was on that ship, scared but alive, whole, innocent in a way I'll never be again? The rations are cold sea rations, canned meat, crackers, powdered coffee. It tastes like cardboard, but I eat it anyway because I haven't eaten anything since before we landed. My body needs fuel even if my stomach is still churning. Martinez gathers what's left of our squad. Me, Johnny, the 2 guys from 1st Division, the Ranger radio man. 5 of us out of an original squad of 12. He speaks quietly, tells us good work today. He knows it was hell. He knows we lost a lot of good men. But we completed the mission. We took the beach, we took the village, we opened the door. Tomorrow, more Americans will come through that door, then more the day after. Eventually, there will be so many of us that the Germans won't be able to stop us. And it's because of what we did today. What we did mattered. His words should make me feel proud, should make me feel like the sacrifice was worth it, but all I feel is tired and sad and hollow. Big Mike is dead. Lieutenant Dawson is dead. Corporal Davis is dead. Dozens of men I knew, trained with, lived with for months, all dead. Scattered across a beach in France that none of us had ever seen before today. Martinez tells us to get some sleep. We move out at dawn. The Germans are going to counterattack, and we need to be ready. More fighting tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. How long can I keep doing this? How long before my luck runs out? I find a corner of the house that's relatively clean and spread out my bedroll. Johnny sets up next to me. We lie there in the darkness, listening to the sounds of the war. Distant artillery, machine gun fire from somewhere, men shouting orders, the rumble of tanks moving up. Johnny's voice is quiet in the darkness. He asks if he thinks it gets easier. The killing. I think about that. About the German soldiers I shot today. About the ones I watched die. About how I felt less with each one.
I tell him I don't know. Maybe. But I'm not sure that's a good thing. He says he keeps seeing their faces, even when he closes his eyes. Especially when he closes his eyes. Me too, I tell him. He asks if that makes us weak. No, I say. I think it makes us human. We're quiet for a while. Then Johnny speaks again. He thanks me for staying with him today, for keeping him alive. I tell him he kept me alive too. We kept each other alive. That's how this works. He asks if I think we'll make it, all the way to the end. Honest answer? Probably not. The odds aren't good. But I can't tell him that. I tell him, yeah, we'll make it. We're survivors. We survive today, we'll survive tomorrow, and the day after. We'll make it home. He asks me to promise. I shouldn't promise. I can't promise. But I do anyway. I promise. He seems to relax a little. Says, okay, good. He's going to hold me to that. I finally take out my mother's letter, open it by the light of a dying candle someone left burning. Her handwriting is so familiar, so normal, so far removed from the horror of this day. She writes about mundane things, the garden, the neighbors, my sister's schoolwork, the whole town praying for us boys overseas. She ends with, "Come home safe, Jimmy. We love you, and we're so proud of you." I fold the letter carefully and put it back in my pocket. I'll write her back tomorrow, if I get the chance. Tell her I'm okay. Tell her not to worry. Lie to her about how things really are over here, because the truth would destroy her. I close my eyes, but sleep doesn't come. My mind is racing, replaying every moment of the day. The boat, the beach, the bodies, the bluff, the village, the Germans I killed, the Americans I watched die, over and over, like a film reel that won't stop. At some point I must sleep, though, because suddenly Martinez is shaking me awake, and it's morning. June 7th. D-Day +1. Time to do it all over again. The second day is different. We're not storming a beach. We're not taking a village. We're just advancing, pushing deeper into France, pushing the Germans back, one hedgerow at a time. The fighting is constant, but not as intense. The Germans are conducting a fighting withdrawal, trying to slow us down while they bring up reinforcements. We advance a few hundred yards, have a firefight, they pull back, we advance again. It's exhausting and dangerous, but it's nothing like yesterday. Yesterday was hell. Today's just war. We link up with other American units throughout the day. The 1st Infantry Division, the 4th, the Rangers, paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne who dropped behind the beach the night before. Slowly, the invasion force is coming together, forming a continuous front line. And the men keep coming. Thousands of them. Tens of thousands. Pouring across Omaha Beach, which is secure now, almost safe. They're bringing tanks, trucks, artillery, supplies, everything an army needs. The Germans threw everything they had at us yesterday, and it wasn't enough. Now it's too late. We're here to stay. We capture more villages, more hedgerows, more crossroads. Each one is defended. Each one costs lives. But we keep taking them, because that's the mission. Keep pushing. Keep the Germans off balance. Don't give them time to establish a solid defensive line. Johnny and I are still together, still alive. Martinez, too. The other guys in our makeshift squad come and go. Some get wounded and sent back. Some get killed. New men take their places. I don't bother learning their names anymore. Too many faces, too many deaths. It's easier to just call them soldier. On the third day, we reach a small town called Izyoni. It's been heavily bombed. Most of the buildings are destroyed.
French civilians are wandering through the rubble, dazed, homeless. An old woman approaches me, speaking rapid French that I don't understand. She's crying, pointing at a pile of rubble that used to be a house. Her house, I realize. Her home is gone. What can I say to her? Sorry, we had to destroy your town to liberate it? I have no words. I just hand her my last chocolate bar for my rations and walk away. It's not enough. Nothing is enough. We're heroes, they tell us. We liberated France. We defeated the Nazis. We saved Europe. But walking through these destroyed towns, seeing these displaced people, I don't feel like a hero. I feel like a participant in something terrible and necessary. By the fourth day, we're exhausted. We've been in continuous combat for 96 hours. No real rest, no hot food, just constant movement, constant vigilance, constant fear. Men are falling asleep on their feet, making mistakes, getting sloppy. Officers know we need a break, but we can't stop. Have to keep pushing while the Germans are disorganized. I'm changing. I can feel it. The fear is still there, but it's different now. More controlled, more manageable. I'm learning to function despite the fear, learning to shoot without thinking about it, learning to kill without hesitating. Is this what Martinez meant about combat experience? Is this what being a soldier really means? On June 10th, 4 days after D-Day, we finally get relieved. Fresh troops take over our positions, and we're pulled back to a rest area. It's just a field with some tents, but it feels like paradise. Hot food for the first time since we landed. A chance to wash, clean uniforms, medical attention for our wounds. Sleep. Blessed sleep. I sleep for 16 hours straight. When I wake up, it's the morning of June 11th. 5 days since Omaha Beach. It feels like 5 years. I look in a small mirror someone is propped against a tent post, and I barely recognize myself. My face is gaunt, covered in stubble. My eyes are different, harder, older. I'm 22, but I look 40. Johnny finds me at breakfast. He looks the same way, used up, worn out. He tells me they're giving out medals, Bronze Stars, Silver Stars, even some Distinguished Service Crosses. Martinez is getting one. I probably am too. I tell him I don't want a medal. He says me neither, but I guess we don't get a choice. The ceremony is that afternoon. Officers pin medals on our uniforms and shake our hands and tell us we're heroes. I barely listen. The medal feels heavy on my chest, heavier than it should, like it's weighing me down, pulling me toward the earth, toward the graves of all the men who should be getting medals but can't because they're dead. After the ceremony, Martinez finds me. His arm is in a sling, but he's staying with the unit. He asks how I'm holding up. I tell him I'm alive. He says that's not what he asked. I think about that. How am I holding up? I'm not falling apart. I'm not crying or screaming or refusing to fight, but I'm not okay either. Something inside me is damaged, maybe broken, maybe permanently. I tell him I don't know. I really don't know. He nods like he understands. Maybe he does. He's been doing this longer than me. He tells me it doesn't get easier, but you learn to live with it. You learn to put it in a box in your head and only take it out when you have to. That's how you survive this with your sanity intact. I tell him I understand. He says, good, because we're going back to the line in 2 days. There's a lot more fighting ahead. We've got to push all the way to Germany. Could take months, could take years, but we're going to do it, and I'm going to help them do it. I tell him I got it. He pats me on the shoulder and walks away. 2 days of rest, then back to the war, back to the killing and dying, and trying not to think about what it all means. I finally write that letter to my parents. I tell them I'm fine, I'm healthy, don't worry about me. I tell them the food is good, the weather is nice, the French people are grateful. I tell them we're making progress, the war is going well, I'll be home before they know it. I don't tell them about Omaha Beach. Don't tell them about the bodies floating in the water, scattered across the sand. Don't tell them about Big Mike or Lieutenant Dawson or any of the other men from Bedford who aren't coming home. Don't tell them about the Germans I've killed, the houses I've cleared, the nightmares I have every time I close my eyes. I seal the letter and give it to the mail clerk. He'll make sure it gets back to Virginia eventually. My mother will read it and believe I'm okay. That's all I can give her. A comfortable lie instead of an unbearable truth. June 6th, 1944. Omaha Beach. D-Day. The day that changed everything. The day I became a soldier. The day I learned what war really is. The day I watched good men die on a cold beach in France, fighting for something bigger than themselves. We opened the door that day. We paid for it in blood, but we opened it. And through that door came the liberation of Europe, the defeat of Nazi Germany, the end of the war. It was worth it. It had to be worth it. Because if it wasn't, then what did all those men die for? I think about Big Mike sometimes. About Lieutenant Dawson. About Corporal Davis and all the others who didn't make it off that beach. I think about the last moments of their lives, the fear they must have felt, the pain. I think about their families back home, receiving those telegrams, learning their sons and brothers and husbands weren't coming back. And I think about the ones who did make it. Me. Johnny. Martinez. Thousands of others who survived that day and kept fighting. We carried the memory of that beach with us through the rest of the war. Through the hedgerows of Normandy, through the streets of French villages, through the frozen forests of Belgium, through the ruins of Germany itself. We were the men of Omaha Beach. We were the ones who stormed Hitler's Atlantic Wall and broke it open. We were the ones who faced the machine guns and the artillery and the impossible odds, and somehow, impossibly, we won. But victory came at a price paid in blood and suffering and trauma that would last the rest of our lives. A price paid by the men who died on that beach and by the men who survived it. We all paid. We're still paying. June 6th, 1944. I'll never forget that day. Never forget the sound of bullets hitting the water. Never forget the smell of blood and gunpowder and fear. Never forget the faces of the men who died beside me. That was my war. That was my D-Day. That was the day I learned that war isn't about glory or honor or heroism. It's about surviving. It's about doing your job even when you're terrified. It's about watching your friends die and somehow finding the strength to keep moving forward. We did keep moving forward, all the way to Berlin, all the way to victory. And when it was finally over, when Germany surrendered and the war in Europe ended, I came home. Changed. Broken. But alive. I came home to Bedford, Virginia, to apple trees and strawberry pie, and a family that couldn't understand what I'd been through. To a country that called me a hero, but didn't know what that word really meant. To a life that felt simultaneously familiar and foreign. I'm an old man now. The war ended decades ago. Most of the men I fought with are gone.
Big Mike has been gone for 80 years. But I still see him sometimes, running through the water at Omaha Beach, still trying to reach the shore. I still see all of them. All the boys from Bedford who never came home. All the friends I lost. All the Germans I killed. They're all still there, frozen in time, forever young, forever fighting that endless battle on that cold French beach.
People ask me sometimes what it was like, what D-Day was like, what Omaha Beach was like, and I never know what to say. How do you describe hell to someone who's never been there? How do you explain what it's like to watch men die, to kill other men, to survive something that, by all rights, should have killed you? You can't. Not really. You can tell the facts, you can describe the events, but you can't convey the feeling, the fear, the chaos, the absolute certainty that you're going to die, followed by the shocked disbelief when you don't. So I tell them it was hard. I tell them we did our duty. I tell them we opened the door to Europe and made the world a safer place. And that's all true. But it's not the whole truth. The whole truth is that war is terrible, that it destroys men's souls as surely as it destroys their bodies, that victory comes at a cost that can never truly be repaid. But I also tell them it was necessary, that stopping Hitler was worth the sacrifice, that the men who died on Omaha Beach didn't die in vain. They died so that others could live in freedom. They died so that evil could be defeated. They died as heroes, even if they didn't feel like heroes in those final moments. I carry their memory with me, all of them, every single one. It's the burden I bear as a survivor, the weight of living when so many others didn't. But it's also an honor to remember them, an honor to tell their story, an honor to make sure the world never forgets what they did on June 6, 1944. Omaha Beach. D-Day, the longest day, the day that changed the world, the day that changed me forever. I'm James Mitchell, Private First Class, 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Division. I'm a veteran of World War II. I'm a survivor of Omaha Beach. And this is my story. This is what I remember. This is what I'll never forget.